All right, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Dr. Paul in the house. How you doing? All right. Hello, Spedge. How's it going? Hello, Kirsten. I'm with you. Okay, I'm all kind of funny yellow colours. But what happened the other day was it starts off like that, and then after a few minutes, the light calms down a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know the technical reason. But hopefully, this will start looking slightly more normal in a few minutes. Let's just see how it goes. All right. So, welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's time for the quiz. What time is it? 3 minutes to 3 minutes to 7. Let me see. Let's get some names on the wheel before we even start, right? Let's go open my question database and ask you a couple of just completely off-the-cuff questions, just from the depths of the trivia database. And first one to answer them right in the chat gets on the wheel, right? This is early bird quizzing. Let's just try and find something here. In the first Harry Potter book, which platform does Harry have to go to catch the train to Hogwarts? What's the number of the platform? That's the first question. Hiya, Michael. Hello, Karen. Hello, Marion. Hello, Craig. So that's right. Yeah, you got it. Hello, Chris. And your first there, the fast, furious, funky fingers of Mr. Chrism. Let's get you on the wheel. There you are. Well, let's do another one. It's 1 minute to 7. We'll do these right up till 7 o'clock. So, what city did the train leave from prior to the Great Train Robbery? This is 1963. That's the dates off the top of my head, but you know the famous one with Ronnie Biggs. I'm pretty sure it's 1963. But which city did the train leave from? It was going to London, but from where? And they held up the train, and they robbed the guy, hit the guy over the head, took all his stuff, and sort of got away with it. No, not Edinburgh. Edinburgh's not correct. London was going to London, but from where? Not Manchester. Not Dundee, not Liverpool, not Newcastle. Glasgow is correct. Gary, you're on the wheel. Woohoo! We haven't even started yet. I haven't even started yet. You're on the wheel. Gary McInnes. There we go. I have to point out that's completely unverified. It's from the unverified section of my database. So it's possibly wrong, but it's what I've got. It says sometimes I find batches of questions elsewhere and I kind of dump them into the database. I don't actually use them usually until they've been checked. Let's try one more. Train one, save many. Whose motto is that? Train one, save many. I'll put it up on the screen. There you go. Train one, save many. Whose motto or catchphrase, whatever. It's not Red Cross. It's a good guess. Yeah, it's the lifeguards. RNLI, but that'll do me. Lifeguards. Yeah, Marion, you're on the wheel. Nice one. Right, we're off to a furious and feisty start. Good stuff, everybody. Well, let's get on with the quiz. Yeah, specifically the RNLI, but lifeguards is good enough for me, you know. Let's put Louise on the wheel. She's the first to actually type that in. Let's do it. Listen, I just got some good news. It looks like the newsroom that was one of my pubs is going to want me back in the first week, probably in the first week. They've looked at all the regulations, of which there are many, and there's nothing, as far as they're concerned, there's nothing specifically prohibiting entertainment in the pub. So it looks like I might be back there in a couple of weeks. That's the latest. Just exchanging messages with the boss of the newsroom. So I might be back working before too long, and it'll be not a second too soon. You know what I mean? Let's do the quiz. Thanks for coming to this online version of the quiz tonight. Hello, Janet. Hello, Lorna, over there in Turkey. Sorry, I couldn't excite you for any more than 1 minute. This has happened to me before. Gary, hello, Gary. It's nothing weird. It's just a scratch card, folks. It's nothing. Yeah, it's potentially good news. It's not set in stone, but thank you very much. Yeah, we'll see. And hopefully, if one of the pubs thinks it's okay, then the others will follow. You know what I mean? I haven't actually got anything firm from any pubs yet. That's the first one that looks like it. It might be a goer. So I'm very pleased because I've completely run out of money now. There is no money. It's like when the Labour went out of government, they left a note for the Tories. There is no money. You know. Hello, Jen. Hello, Tim. All right. Okay, so let's get on with the quiz. I'll tell you about the quiz. Let's get the slideshow up here. Here we go. So thanks for coming to the quiz. I'm Dr. Paul. I'm your quizmaster. I'm going to ask you questions. You write down the answers. Please give me a share. Try and increase the social net of this here quiz. You know what I mean? Hit that share button. If you want to talk about the quiz anytime, you use hashtag DPQuiz. Live quiz starts soon. If you have not been here before, then welcome. Hello. Everyone's very friendly. Here's how it works. I'm going to ask questions one round at a time. You answer the questions. Write them down. There's no apps. There's nothing special. You just write them down on a bit of paper. After each round, I will give you the answers. You do your own marking. You mark yourself on our system. Cross my heart. You know what I mean? And don't shout out answers in the chat while people are trying to solve the questions, because that would ruin it, wouldn't it? You know, so just keep it cool. Write down the answers and don't shout out answers in the chat. There is an exception to that. The thing is, if I ask a question and I declare it a bonus question to get on the wheel, then try and answer it as quickly as you can in the chat. And if you are the first to answer correctly, you will go on the wheel of names, which is that. And we spin the wheel of names at the end of the quiz for the prizes. So you see the sort of main quiz with the score. That's done nothing to really do with prizes. It's just a quiz for quiz sake. You know, you keep your own score. You try and beat your rivals. Try and get your best score ever. That sort of thing. But the wheel is for prizes. And there's various ways to get your name on the wheel as we go. This is the scoreboard from Monday, which is the last time we played. We played Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the moment. Top half of the table is trumpets. Bottom half of the table is trump. You know what I mean? Oh, actually, bonus to get on the wheel right here. Who's that on the trumpet? Name the trumpet player. Name that guy. Who's that? Very famous trumpet player. King of easy listening. A boudoir classique. Who is on the trumpet? That's right. It's Herb Alpert. Absolutely perfect. Well, Alpert. Tim got it right. John spelt it properly first, so I'll put you both on the wheel. Okay, so Tim, Agely, and Mr. Mackey. All right, both on the wheel. Yeah, one of my favourites. Herb Alpert. Great stuff. Okay, hire me to do a Zoom quiz. You know, just get in touch. I'll do a Zoom quiz for you, private, personal. You know what I mean? Although it tends to work better if there's more than one of you. You know, if it's a birthday party or something like that, or something for the work, get in touch. They're good. Good fun. June Deadpool is open. I haven't examined the May list yet. Obviously, I've got to sort out April's one as well, because, or the May one rather. Sorry, the April one, because Prince Philip carked it, so somebody's winning money. Sponsors tonight. Here's the prizes you can win. There's James the Baker, overlord and boss of Herbie's West End, plus James's Bakery up in Moordun. 4 fantastic loaves of bread to a winner tonight. Look, there's some previous winners. Look how bready, steady, happy they are. Great stuff. Karen's book's just about running out. I think there's 2 more after this. This is the third last one. End Zone by Don DeLillo, which doesn't look that great, you know, from the cover. I'm judging a book by a cover, but I looked it up today, and it looks like it's really good. It's written in 1972. and it's to do with American football and nuclear war, and it's kind of satirical and funny. So it looks quite good. You can win that. Jack Monroe, Good Food for Bad Days. I'm pretty sure there's at least one of these still left, so that's a prize for tonight. And I'll have other prizes as well. Don't worry about that. So let's get going. It is 7 minutes past. I try and hit the first question at 5 past, so I'm a little bit behind schedule. We will catch up, no problem. So here we go. Same letter round is 5 questions where all 5 answers start with the same letter. So once you've got the letter, nice and easy. Here we go. Question number 1. Which state in the USA is the home of Cajun culture and includes the city of New Orleans? So which American state is home of the Cajuns and also includes the city of New Orleans? What's this? I know a midget baker called Peter. He was telling me about baking flatbread and how much fun it was. I love the pita patter of Tiny Pete. Raymond, that's utterly ridiculous. You go straight on the wheel for that. I don't know what to say. That's probably the best joke I've ever heard in my life. I don't think we'll do chess unless it just ends up you and me, Gary, because I don't think it was very popular, to be honest. Anyway, number 2, which James Bond film came out in 1973 and it's got Roger Moore encountering voodoo magic? All right, which film is that? Which James Bond film is that? Remember, all the answers start with the same letter in the first round. The same letter round. Number 3, all heads roll. Which king of France was executed by guillotine in 1793 during the French Revolution? Need the name and number of that king to get both points. If you just get the name, you get a wrong number, you get 1 point. But for both points, name and number of the king. He was somebody the something. You know what I mean? Number 4, which English football club was bought by an American company called Fenway Sports Group back in 2010 for the tasty sum of £300 million. So the Americans, Fenway Sports Group is the name of the company. They bought an English football club for £300 million in 2010. So it must be quite a good one. You wouldn't pay that for Partick Thistle, you know what I mean? It's not going to be Hartlepool, you know what I mean? Okay, let's see what else we got. Number 5, last question in the same letter round. All the answers start with the same letter. Nursery rhymes. Which nursery rhyme character sat in the corner eating his Christmas pie? So who was that who sat in the corner eating his Christmas pie? According to the nursery rhyme. Can he beat a nursery rhyme, right? That's true, Rob. Rob's telling us that Herb Alpert was the A out of A&M Records. That's true. I think the M is Jerry Moss. Is that right? Right, that's the stuff. You tell me if you're ready. So Karen's ready, Noodle Doodles are ready, Louisa's ready. I will do extremely quick recap just to show you these again. So American state with the Cajuns and New Orleans. What's the name of the state? What's the James Bond film that's got a voodoo magic in it? 1973. Roger Moore. Best Bond. Which king of France got his head totally cut off in 1793? Name and number for both points. Number 4. Which football club did the Fenway Sports Group buy for 300 million quid in 2010? Money lying about. And who sat in the corner eating his Christmas pie? Okay, everybody's ready. Good stuff. Thanks, everybody, for telling me that you are ready. Wonderful. Okay. Here we go. Here come the answers. So, did you get a letter? I'm sure you did. I think that was a relatively straightforward opening round. It was letter L for lesbian octopus. L. Here we go. I'll get to that, Louisa. Yeah, pretty much. If you get a name or the number, If you get half of it, you get 1 point. Okay, so number one, New Orleans is in Louisiana. I think most of you know that one. 2 points for Louisiana. Number two, James Bond. Yeah, fantastic. Live and Let Die. Great stuff. What's the name of the character in the top hat? This is a bonus question to get on the wheel. So the first person to put this in the chat will get the points. What is the name of the voodoo villain who's to the left there with the top hat and the face paint? What's the name of the character? First person to answer this goes on the wheel. Yeah, good stuff. Chris has got it. Baron Samedi is correct. Very good. Clive. Nah, it's not Clive. I don't think so anyway. He might have aliases. Number three, which King of France got the royal bonds banged clean off with a great big dirty blade? It was Louis the 16th, or XVI, if you're into that sort of thing. There he is. Well, there's his head, anyway. Although if you look on the left-hand side of the photograph, there's his body. Fantastic. Might have just still been a tiny bit conscious at that point. You never know. I would have been... I mean, like, you know, killing people's never good, but that would have been pretty good to see. That would be a good one to go back in time and witness. You know, if you had the old time machine. Louis the 16th. So 1 point if you got Louis something else. Both points if you said Louis 16th. If you'd somehow got the number but didn't get the Louis, 1 point as well. Number four, Fenway Sports Group, £300 million pulled out their back pocket. They bought themselves Liverpool FC. All right. And who sat in the corner? It was little Jack Horner eating his Christmas pie. There's James the Baker. Right. So 10 out of 10 if you got them all right. It's 2 points for each question. You do your own marking, all right, but you add on bonuses at this point. If you're a subscriber to YouTube, right here, hit the subscribe button. If you're not, you get 2 points. Share the quiz, you get a point, and you add 1 point if it's your birthday. Usual maximum is 13 points. Ms. Duff has the 13. And Peter fluked the number. Simon didn't get the number. Little lamb, it wouldn't stop it. She threw it down and kicked it. Right. Gotcha. Full heads roll. I do try and throw them in sometimes, just for my own amusement. If anyone else spots them, then great. Right, Louisiana, Live and Let Die, Louis XVI, Liverpool FC, and Little Jack Horner. Mr. Doyle is here. You knew the number because of Doctor Who. Now, I don't think you were here on Monday, were you, Mr. Doyle? We did your round. We did Genghis Khan on Monday. Did you miss it? It was good. I liked it. If you're still here later and you didn't see it, I'll bring it up and I'll show you. But we'll do the rest of the quiz first. Okay, right, let's crack on. Good scores, it looks like, in the first round. So let's go straight on to the picture round, okay? Okay, fight. Which classic video game used this logo and was first released in 1992? There's two words there. Starts with M and K, and the rest of the words have been covered up by me. But what is the name of that video game from the early 90s? It was all their age. Everybody had a PlayStation. Well, not everybody. The rich kids did. Rich compared to me, anyway. 1992. Design runs wild, right? When did Dunfermline Athletic FC play in this crazy-looking kit? Or these kits? They're both from the same... I think they're from the same season. But was it from the 1980s or the 1990s, right? When did football kits kind of look a bit like this? You don't have to know about Dunfermline FC. It's a history of design question. There was a time where football shirts went a bit nuts, but was it the 80s or the 90s? Number 3, the picture round is Wonder Woman's first name. What is Wonder Woman's real first name? It starts with the letter D for dynamite or disaster. But that's neither of those words are her first name. What is Wonder Woman's real first name? Like the character's real first name, like her alias. You know what I mean? For Posh Tube. Where do the tube stations look like this? Is that a photograph taken in Madrid, Moscow, or Rio de Janeiro? That's quite swish for a tube station, you know what I mean? We haven't even got a tube system in Edinburgh. Be good if we did. But anyway, Madrid, Moscow, or Rio de Janeiro? Who is this now dead musician when they were a young person? This photograph, I don't have the exact date for it, but it must have been taken late 70s or early 80s. Okay, so who's this? A very famous musician, now dead. This photograph must have been taken 70s or 80s, and this person is now no longer on planet Earth, in the earthly form, in the mortal way. You know what I'm saying? So who's that? Who is that, basically? Okay, quick recap. So name the video game, came out in 1992. MK, that's the first letters of each word. Lunatic football strips, 80s or 90s? Wonder Woman's first name, her alias, starts with a D. Where does the underground railway system look like this? Madrid, Moscow, or Rio de Janeiro? And who's that guy? Oh, you saw the round. That's good. Was that? Mary had a little lamb. She also had a bear. I never saw her little lamb, but I often saw her shout and swear. I don't know. Play the tubes in Edinburgh. Hey, you're not wrong. All right. Picture round answers. Here we go. Right. A couple of people are ready. I'm not hanging about tonight. Get on with it, right? So here come the answers, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, score yourself 2 points for each correct answer. All right. Here is number 1, the classic video game. It's a fighting game. It's called Mortal Kombat. There we go. I don't know how they got away with that. Combat with a K. Nobody picked them up on that. Amazing. 2 points for Mortal Kombat. Dunfermline athletic kits are both from, oh look, I've put Dunfermline as the answer. That's a mistake. It's the 90s. They're both from the 90s. Wonder Woman's real first name is Diana. Diana, or Di. The tube station that's quite posh with all the chandeliers and the lovely plaster work and so on is in Moscow. And it's Kurt Cobain. There we go. So, okay. I'm just going to fix the answer on this. Because I've put down for the original question was name the football club. I thought that might be a little bit difficult for those of you who don't give a nuts about Scottish football. So I changed it to a style question. The answer is the 1990s. Just fixing that up, and then I'll show you. Debbie! Debs. Nah, it's Di, not Debs. Nice 10s for Marion, for Noodle Doodles, for Denise over in Dublin, for Judith. Oh, look, there's a bit of an explanation. Mortal Kombat with a C was a copyrighted film in the 80s. I mean, to be honest, MK is pretty cool. Makes it stand out. Put Delilah for Wonder Woman. Doris. Nah, she's not Doris. You don't get superheroes called Doris, do you? Right, good stuff. Magic Kingdom. That's quite a good answer. Not right, but it's a good answer. Bad luck. 8 out of 10 for the dial. Right, let's move on. Good stuff. Picture round, a wee bit tricky, not too bad. Right, sound round. Time for the sound round. So let me just get my headphonics on. This is what I need for this situation, and it is a voice round tonight. Let me just make sure. Oh, look, it's not open at all. I'll make sure that things are working with the sound. So I'm just going to play a couple of seconds or something. Okay, that's fine. I take it you heard that a little bit, right? I'm going to play you some voices, and you just got to name who the speakers are. So let me see. Good, I do have them. Right, the first voice you're going to hear is someone talking about a situation that happened when her mother and her husband thought she'd been killed, right?
She collapsed on the floor, and then a friend of hers said, no, that's a mistake. You know, she's alive, she's very injured, but she's okay. So she flew to Scranton, where I still was, and then later went to New York. And in the hospital, Amelia was trying to be so strong and everything, but one day she was looking for some door, and she opened the door to a closet, and he was on the floor sobbing on his knees, like in tears.
On his knees in tears, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Not tears like a cake, but crying. You know what I mean? I might just turn the volume up a tiny little bit. I think it might be a tiny bit quiet. Let me know. It's always hard to tell what it's like at your end. Okay, second voice is somebody talking about the magnificence of Troon on the Ayrshire coast.
I'm extremely happy to be back in Troon. For lots of reasons. First of all, it's exquisitely beautiful, and when it's possible to do so without Nicola Sturgeon warning you not to go into the cafes or bars, I ask everyone in Britain to visit Scotland and to visit this jewel of Troon.
Yes, to visit this jewel of Troon. That's not the Troon Marketing Board or the Ayrshire Tourist Board, but it's one of the people on that list over there. You pick out the 5 right answers from the list. Number 3 is a little bit of weightlifting commentary.
38 kilograms. And he smashes it up. It flies up. And up he goes again. And Thompson has won the weightlifting. And I think that's all he came here for. The most tremendous competition. There it is. Jack's still at the top after 4 events, and Daley Thompson suddenly comes into the reckoning. And what
a great show that's from. Number 4 is from the 80s also, and it's an early adopter talking enthusiastically about the power of computers. Who is this?
I found was the best way was to type the first line of the program and then type run, which makes the machine work. If you haven't got a computer, it makes it work, and see what happened on the screen. Because the other thing that people don't realize is you can't break them.
You can't break them. And the last one is somebody remembering a conversation she had with her mother when her mother was nursing her for having hepatitis A.
And I said, well, Mum, it's food poisoning. I don't know, I've eaten a bad sandwich or something. She went, no, come on. Let's have the reality here. Let's face it. I know how you caught it. You know how you caught it. You need to face up to it. I said, what's she talking about? I was so weak. And she said, we all know what you were doing. You've been rimming.
There we go. Don't know if you expected that. I've heard that about 4 times now, and I still don't quite expect it. But there you go. There's the mystery voices. I'm going to play them one more time. Karen is ready. Thank you very, very much. But I'm going to play them one more time just to give you a second chance to hear. So here comes voice number 1. It's a woman whose mother and husband had heard and thought for a while that she was dead. So who's this?
She collapsed on the floor, and then a friend of hers said, no, that's a mistake. She's alive. She's very injured, but she's okay. So she flew to Scranton, where I still was, and then later went to New York. And in the hospital, Amelia was trying to be so strong and everything, but one day she was looking for some door, and she opened the door to a closet, and he was on the floor sobbing on his knees, like in tears.
Okay, number 2 is about Troon.
I'm extremely happy to be back in Troon for lots of reasons. First of all, it's exquisitely beautiful, and when it's possible to do so without Nicola Sturgeon warning you not to go into the cafes or bars, I ask everyone in Britain to visit Scotland and to visit this jewel of Troon.
Well, that should spark an influx. Number 3 is a little bit of weightlifting commentary from the early 1980s. Who is this?
38 kilograms. And he smashes it up. It flies up. And up he goes again. And Thompson has won the weightlifting. And I think that's all he came here for. The most tremendous competition. There it is. Jack's still at the top after 4 events. And Daley Thompson suddenly comes into the reckoning.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Right. Number 4 is an early adopter of computers in the 80s again.
And what I found was the best way was to type the first line of the program and then type run, which makes the machine work. If you haven't got a computer, it makes it work, and see what happened on the screen. Because the other thing that people don't realize is you can't break them.
Fantastic. You cannot break a computer, folks. And the last one is a conversation that this person had with their mother when it was discovered they had hepatitis A.
And I said, well, Mum, it's food poisoning. I don't know, I've eaten a bad sandwich or something. She went, no, come on. Let's have the reality here. Let's face it. I know how you caught it. You know how you caught it. You need to face up to it. I said, what's she talking about? I was so weak. And she said, we all know what you were doing. You've been rimming.
Terrific. Yeah, that's right, Rob. Okay, you all ready? Let's do the answers. So, where's my little thing? Here it is. Okay, so let's flick onto the answer bit. Sound round answers. Okay, so the first one is a woman who was nearly killed in a bus crash, and then this was the aftermath of it when her mother originally heard that her daughter had died, but then it was okay. It's Gloria Estefan. Gloria Estefan, if you like. Depends how you pronounce it. But Gloria Estefan. So I normally say it. 2 points for that. Number 2 is a fantastic advert for Troon. This was from this week. It's George Galloway, the serial, politician. I think it's probably the kindest way to talk about George Galloway. Number 3 is Ron Pickering. And Rob was mentioning there, it's from Superstars. That's absolutely correct. From an epic battle in 1980 Superstars, Daley Thompson taking the weightlifting, going head to head with Brian Jacks. Brian Jacks, of course, was the eventual champion. What sport was, here's a question to get on the wheel. What sport was Brian Jacks' sport? Right, Brian Jacks was a legend from Superstars, which was, if you're too young, you don't know what you miss, right? It was all these people, all these sports guys from different sports, and they come together and do weightlifting and stuff like that. Right, everybody knows this. It's great that it's like 40 years ago and everybody still knows it's judo. Gary is correct. I love how many people know that. Absolutely love it. Like, that was the last time TV was good, wasn't it? 1980 Superstars. It's been about rubbish since then. The old telly. Yeah, well done. Oh, look, Sally. Sally, you won the bread last week, and I need some more details off you. I've got your address, but I need your phone number, right, to pass on to James Baker. So can you send me a message, please? Thanks very much. All right. Who else we got? We got Paul Daniels. That was the computer one. He was an early adopter for the computers. Where did it get him? Where is he now? And number 5, Don French, rimming, hepatitis A. Bit of information from Mr. Dodd. I've been thinking about Doris. No superheroes called Doris, but there is a Wonder Woman villain called Doris Zool, also known as supervillainess Giganta. Well, that's nice. I like it. Yeah, you're right. Brian Jackson was the superstar. He was the superstar out of superstars. There's a famous line. What attracted Debbie McGee to the millionaire Paul Daniels? That's Mrs. What's her name? What's the name of the character? I know it's Caroline Ahern, but what's the... I can't remember the name of the character. What is yeah? First person to put that in the chat gets on the wheel. What was Caroline Ahern's character that came up with that famous line about Debbie McGee and Paul Daniels? Merton, right? Thank you, Mrs. Merton. I couldn't think of it. It's Alison got it right first. So Alison from Noodle Doodles, excellent. You are on the wheel. Plenty of people on the wheel tonight. It's good stuff. I don't remember Jonah Barrington. I remember Tim Sherwood, big lanky guy. Mike Hazelwood as well. He was something weird like, what was he? Mike Hazelwood. He was like rowing or something. I don't know. Kevin Keegan coming off the bike. That was a key moment. Really, really great TV show. Fantastic. Right, okay. Yeah, I remember that guy, Dave Hemmings. I remember the name anyway. Was he rugby? I don't remember the Kevin Keegan squats. What happened there? That's right, Mike Hazelwood's water skiing. I knew it was something weird. Jonah Barrington. I love that you can all remember little details of superstars from 40 years ago. That's how good that program was. Youngsters who are watching. David Hemery. Yeah, all the great names. Right, time for a crypto. You get 60 seconds to solve this. I'm getting engaged in the chat. I need to get back to the quiz. So you get 60 seconds to solve this. Do not shout out the answer here. This is not to shout out in the chat. This is everybody gets 60 seconds to try and solve it. So if you're ready, I'll show you a cryptic clue to give the title of a hit song from 1990. So there we go. And the timer should start counting down. There it goes. Hippy chat on a Pullman. 6 letters and 5 letters. So that's... Sometimes people mistake this for an anagram. This is not an anagram. This is a crypto. So it's like a crossword clue. All right. Don't put the answer in the chat. Just let us know if you think you've got it so we can move on. Well, not so we can move on, just so we know that you've got it. David Hemery was the 400-meter hurdles. Nice one. That rings a bell as well, yeah. I remember watching Bjorn Borg. Tim's got it. "400-meter hurdles." Maybe he's not the guy I'm thinking of. It's Danny, somebody I'm thinking of. A little squat guy with a big tash. Anyway, time's running out. Hippy chat. What do hippies say? And what's a Pullman? Put those two things together. Tim's got it. Karen's got it. Peter's got it. Time is up. Let's see this. You get 3 points if you manage to solve this. Big hit. Top 10 hit in 1990. It was Groovy Train. Get on, get on, get on, get on, get on. That groovy train. Get on a groovy train. You know, the farm. 3 points if you got the groovy train. All right. Get on, get on, get on. Get on a groovy train. Get on a groovy train. Baggy jeans and long blonde hair. Without a care in the world. Give me a thumbs up, please. This is me officially asking you to like the quiz with your thumb. And it improves my ratio. You know what I mean? I think Kirsten was anticipating a bonus question there. I'll give you a bonus question. What was the name of the singer out at the farm? Didn't know what a Pullman was. I know. I had to look it up myself. I kind of knew it was to do with trains, but it's a posh carriage. You know, with like nice light fittings and tables and stuff like that. It was like, aye, that's right. Peter Hooton. That's right. Deanna's got it. Deanna is on the wheel. Deanna's pretty good at getting on the wheel these days. It's work, Deanna. Okay, let's go. Let's get on the next round. Oh, it's Guess Who. Okay, so again, no shouting out here. Guess Who is just you're trying to work out who's behind the grid. Which grid? This grid. Oops. I better edit that. Made a wee mistake there. So I was checking something earlier and then forgot. So just highlight that. Paul. So I was doing quite well with mistakes up to now. Let's do that back. Here we go. Get on a groovy train. Share screen. There we go. Right. Okay, that's fixed. Here we are. So there's someone hiding behind the grid, and I'm going to reveal some squares and then put a clue up. If you get it on the first clue, you get 10 points. If you get it on the second clue, you get 8 points. If you get it on the third clue, you get 6 points, and so on. Okay. So, ready, here we go. So the first clue is that this person was born in 1969, is an American entertainer, and was born and raised in Ohio, which is kind of one of those middle states, you know what I mean? I've been to Ohio, spent a couple of weeks in Ohio. There was nothing much going on. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Expensive seats at the cinema. Yeah, they sort of took on that name. It became like a word like Hoover, you know, just meaning anything that sucks, but anything kind of posh to sit in. Pullman. E. Wilson. That's another one. Like E. Wilson, you won a prize a couple of weeks ago, and I've not been able to send you it because I don't have your address. So if you could send me a message, please, that'd be great, with your address, and I can get a prize. I can't remember what prize it is, but it's sitting there, and I can't send it to you because I don't have your details. So it's welcome back, first of all, but can you send me a little message? Right, a couple of people have got this already. Let's get straight on to the 8-point clue. This person was friends with Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp reportedly used him as an inspiration for creating his interpretation of Willy Wonka when Depp was Wonka. You know what I mean? So this guy, for it is a guy, is friends with Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp used him as an inspiration. Yeah, no problem, E. Wilson. Thank you very much. I did ask on the forum if anyone knew you, or if you're on the forum, but didn't see it. But I knew you'd turn up eventually. So 6 points. He had a bit of controversy in his career. His music was associated with the Columbine shootings because it was reported that the shooters were fans of this person, which of course is entirely out with his control, even if it was true. But, you know, he's had a bit of controversy attached to his career. So if you get it from this point, you get 6 points. Let's go on to the 4-point one. A couple of you say you've got it. He's just not a minister in the Church of Satan. He's probably not even a naughty boy. He might be a naughty boy, I don't know. But the reason that's there is because it was another thing that was reported, and early in his career he kind of picked up on it and ran with it. You know, kind of claimed he was. Later on he said, nah, I wasn't really a minister in the Church of Satan. You know, it was just good PR, you know. So that's for the 4-point question. And then for the last one, I'll take all the squares away and give you the 2-point clue. This entertainer, he's a singer. His stage name is a mix of two American icons, a sex symbol for the first name, and an infamous criminal, a murderer, for the surname. And in fact, everybody in the band made up their stage name the same way by getting, clashing American pop culture icons, mixing up the names. And his name is the name of the band as well. This guy's name was the name of the band as well. So there's loads and loads of clues there now. I hope you have it by now. If you still don't have it, the Chameleon said it on 10, but we're not sure until 2. Well, you get the 10 points if you said it at 10. If you said the right answer at 10, even if you weren't sure, you get the 10 points, all right? And the answer is, in case anyone doesn't know, is it's Marilyn Manson. Real name, Brian. So if you said Brian Warner, you get the points as well. Before you fixed it, I thought it was Robert Smith from The Cure. Yeah, it could have been. Could have easily been. Similar, a bit of crossover between the two. Right, we got some 10s in that round. 10 for Jenny, nice one. 10 for the Noodle Doodles. Lump of Gravy got 6. Marion got 6. Karen got 10. Nice. Denise got it on 8. Very good. I saw him play once, kind of by accident. I went to a festival in Glasgow Green, which was good because it wasn't out in the countryside. You didn't have to stay there or get wet or anything like that. So, and he was playing. I didn't really care, but it was pretty good. Very good. Jerry Springer, of course. Very similar. Is he an Ohioan as well, Jerry Springer? Anyway, let's move on. Jokes round. This is by request from James the Baker, actually, our key sponsor, our main man for Wednesday nights. Sent me a message. He said, you should do the jokes round. I said, all right, I'll do the jokes round. So, first person who can make me laugh with a joke goes on the wheel. Do it. Get typing. Do it fast because we've still got 2 rounds. You're at the gig. What I really remember about it was I didn't know any of the songs, but I thought it was quite good. And I remember he was on this sort of pneumatic platform that went up, and he had this dress or cape or whatever that came down to the floor, but it stayed down and it got bigger and bigger as he went up. The thing kept on going down to the stage. He was like 20, 30 foot up in the air. He was great. Yeah, Jerry Springer, I'm in the mayor of Cincinnati. What you gonna do? Don't do feed line and punchline separately. Just put them in the same comment. Mind you, that kind of works. What's better than roses on a piano? 2 lips on an organ. I've been selling tampons with glitter on them just for the Christmas period. Louisa, that's the winner. I don't have to go any further. Janet, that joke of yours is a good joke. It's a serviceable and traditional joke, but I've heard it a lot of times before. It didn't really make me laugh. I mean, well, I did a fake laugh, so I suppose that made me laugh. So I'll put you on the wheel as well, mainly for being first. But Louisa's that's the first one that's made me properly laugh. If at first you don't succeed, then skydiving is not for you. That's a good joke. Come on. Look, how about that? 2 no legs jokes, one after the other. Where do you find a spider with no legs? Right where you left it, and then Raymond follows straight in there. What's made it short for her? Because she's got no legs. Can't go to the pub, but we're still legless. Right, let's move on. That's the jokes round. Okay, it's Louisa's category. Louisa suggested this one. Medical terminology. 50-50 round, okay? That's the deal. So Louisa came up with it. I asked you at the start of the month for categories for the 50-50 round. And Louisa came up with this one, medical terminology. So let's do it. Look, there's the baker. Did you hear about the guy who trained his dog to play the trumpet on London Underground? It went from barking to tooting in under an hour. James. Right, medical terminology, 50-50. Here we go. Right, what is the more common name for Willis-Ekbom disease? Is it restless leg syndrome or water on the knee? I used to do the jokes round in the pub, like every time, but it got pretty tedious. Sometimes a bit nasty as well. I don't really do it anymore. Right, number 2. Where is the stapes? That's Latin. It's the Latin name for the smallest bone in the human body. So it's got a regular name as well, like a common name. But where is stapes, which is the smallest bone in the human body? Is it in the head or in the wrist? That's question number 2. Look at that. This is on the hoof joking. In response to the questions, Marion saying there's a cure for water on the knee. Drain pipe jeans. Come on. Number 3, what is the blood disorder hypotension? Is that high blood pressure or low blood pressure? High blood pressure or low blood pressure? Hypotension. What is that? Okay. Number 4, in the 50-50 medical terminology round, what is a diastema? It's a gap between what? Or diastema. I don't know how you say that. Is it a gap between your teeth or a gap between your toes? All right, diastema or diastema. Diastema? I don't know how you say it. But it's a gap. Is it a gap between teeth or toes? There, you know what I'm saying. And look at this, big words. All right, so which one of these is an alternative name for red blood cells? So are they also known as erythrocytes or ribosomes? Okay, so a pretty technical round, but it is 50-50, so you can guess your way to glory here. Good subject, I thought. Louisa, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're doing well in your own round. Or on your own idea for a round. 10 out of 10, says Louisa. No problem. Right. Well, we'll see, won't we? Let's, I'm sure you're right. Louisa knows this stuff. So Willis-Ekbom disease, what's that better known as? Restless leg syndrome or water on the knee? This is a recap. Number 2, the stapes is the smallest and lightest bone in the human body. But whereabouts is it? Is it inside your head or is it inside your wrist? Number 4, hypotension. Is that high blood pressure or low blood pressure? Number 4, diastema. I'm sticking with that pronunciation. Diastema. Is that a gap between the teeth or the toes? Phone interference, you reckon? Well, the phone was kind of near the computer. I've moved it away. Let's see what happens. And the last one, red blood cells, not better known, also known as what? Erythrocytes or ribosomes. Okay, thank you for telling me that you are ready. Noodle Doodles are ready. Jonathan is ready. Janie is ready. The jokes are still flooding in. What do you call a woman with one leg? Eileen. Hey. Women with no legs, no lean. Quality gags. That's why I don't do the jokes round very often these days. I'll deploy it now and again, right? I'm not going to start doing it every time. It does get tedious when you see the same ones over and over. Right, Janie's ready. Although, look, see, everyone's got different tastes. Noodle Doodles, that's funny. Now, that's funny. Eileen, no lean. That's what Noodle Doodles are saying. Right, ready? Here we go. 50-50 medical terminology as suggested by Louisa Jobson. Thank you, Louisa. Here are the answers. So what's a more common name for Willis-Ekbom disease? That is restless leg syndrome. No rest. 2 points for a correct answer. Number 2, the stapes, the smallest bone in the human body. That is inside your head. It's you know where it is, don't you? It's in your inner ear, right? It's the stirrup. I guess all bones are very defined. It's amazing how the bones know how to grow like that. It's genuinely amazing. Anyway, it's inside your head because it's inside your middle ear. 2 points for head. Number 3, what is the blood disorder hypotension? That's low blood pressure, right? Hypo is low. Hyper is high. Hypo is low. Number 4, diastema is a gap between your teeth. Usually those two in the middle, diastema. And red blood cells, erythrocytes or ribosomes. It's erythrocytes from the Greek. And there's a little information there. Erythrocytes. See the last line in that, it says these make up 25% of the total cells of your body. So there's a quarter of you is erythrocytes. How about that? So can you have one restless and one resting? Like, I don't know. I'm not that type of doctor. It's a sort of weak area for me. If I was quizzing, I wouldn't do well on human body round. I don't really like thinking about what's under my skin. You know, just a bit ugh, ugh, when you realise you're just a walking bag of flesh and bones, you know. But spooky. Tim says 10 out of 10 thanks to my partner and her mum on Zoom. You're allowed to name them. Or maybe you're not, I don't know. Right, restless leg syndrome, head, low blood pressure, teeth, erythrocytes. There's Jonathan, he knows about the restless leg. He says, yes, you can have one. Very good. I'm struggling to think of a bonus question for this round. Anyway, we'll move on. It's it's nearly 5-2, so let's get finished. We have Lewis White coming up. He's for the Labour Party. He is going to be our last ever contestant on Pub Quiz versus Politics. It is the night before the election, and Lewis is going to be aiming to get the Labour Party back into first place. And we'll see after this round. This is the final round. Okay, so double or bust round. You know how to do this. It's 4 points for a correct answer in this round, so double points. So if you got them all right, you get 20 points. Fantastic, crazy. But if you put an answer down and it is wrong, then you get 0 points for the round. Like Louis 16th. So that's bust. To avoid going bust, you can leave blanks. You don't have to answer every question. So you decide how many of these you're going to go for. Okay. I think most of you know how to do this. If you're unclear, just ask me in the chat. Right, here we go. Space. Number 1, traveling outwards from the sun. What is the last planet that you pass before reaching the asteroid belt? All right. I mean, if you're going the wrong way, you might not go past it, but you know what I mean. Which is the furthest out planet from the sun to have its orbit inside the asteroid belt? You know what I mean. Like, there's a number of planets, then asteroid belt, then more planets. So what's the last one before the asteroid belt? That's question number 1. Yeah, that makes sense to have one, as Mr. Doyle's explaining. Different sides of your brain control different sides. So if it's to do with the leg, if it's neural, then to do with the brain rather, if it's neural. And you can see how it would affect one and not the other. Anyway, there you go. Last planet before the asteroid belt. Number 2, Denver and Phoenix are cities in the USA, and they're both in the MST time zone. What does the letter M stand for in MST? So the USA is a big country and it has a number of time zones. One of the time zones is called MST. What does the letter M stand for in that abbreviation? That's question number 2. And number 3, paperback writer. Which best-selling American-born writer's books, he is an American, include an autobiographical volume called The Life and Times of the Thunderbolt Kid that came out in 2006. Well known for travel writing, but he's done all sorts of writing. And that's like an autobiography. Life and Times of the Thunderbolt Kid. That's your third eye, controls your third leg, man. Everyone knows that. Number 4, right, it's about IQ tests. This is not an IQ test, it's just a pub quiz, but what number represents the average person's IQ on the Binet-Simon scale? All right, so that's one of the IQ tests you can get, the Binet-Simon. And what number represents the average IQ or intelligence? Yeah, that's question number 4. And here comes the last question tonight for the main part of the quiz. It's a year question, as it often is. And for this one, you have to get within 5 years of the correct answer to get the point. So if you're 5 years out, you get the points. If you're 6 years out, you get bust if you go for it and get it wrong. So what year is this? The Mousetrap, written by Agatha Christie, opened in London as a play. And of course, it still runs. It's a famously long-running play. And the Hibees, the Hibs, the Hibernian FC, were champions of Scottish football for the last time to date. So they finished the season at the top of the top division. That's what I mean by champions of Scottish football. So when did that last happen? If you get within 5 years of the correct answer, then you get the points. All right. If you're outside of that, you get bust. You get 0 for the round. But of course, you can, like any question in this round, you can leave it blank. So you tell me when you're ready. Then we'll do the answers. And then we'll meet Lewis White from the Labour Party. And then we'll do games for names. And then we'll spin the wheel at 8:30. So that's where we're going with this. Right. So here, one more time, quick recap. Here's the questions. It's 2 minutes to 8 o'clock. We're going to finish just on time, I think. Traveling outwards from the sun, what is the last planet that you reach? So the last planet with its orbit inside the asteroid belt. That'd be a better way to phrase that. Number 2, Denver and Phoenix are in MST time zone. What does the M stand for? Number 3, The Life and Times of the Thunderbolt Kid. Who wrote that? It's an autobiography. American writer. Lived in Britain for a long time as well. Well known as a travel writer, but has done lots of different types of writing. Number 4, what's the average IQ on the Binet-Simon scale? And the final one, the year. The Mousetrap is a play, a mystery, like a detective play, written by Agatha Christie. And it has been running in the West End of London ever since, apart from COVID. Right? And Hibs were the champions of Scottish football for the last time. What year was this? Have a guess at a year. If you get within 5 years, you get the points. Okay, the balls are out, they're saying. Denise is ready-ish. Karen's going full balls out. Mr. Doyle is going balls out. Miss Janie is ready. Miss Jobson is balls out. Noodle Diddle's going for 4. No idea about the IQ stand for Binet scale. Okay. I'm not touching the astronomy. No way. Can it be a bit of space? People are announcing balls out. You know what that means is that they're going for all 5. So let's find out. Let's get the answers. Now, just before I show you the answers, I will remind you that I'm a poor man and I'm trying to run these quizzes to feed my family. So any donations that come in make me very, very happy, and I appreciate it. I appreciate every donation that has come in, and those who donate regularly and those who have donated ever. Thank you very much. Of course, you don't have to. It's free to play, but I do appreciate it. Who knows? Might be back in the pubs in 2 weeks. It looks like I might get back into one of them at least, and that should start things, God willing. So any donations, massively welcome. Thank you very much. But you absolutely don't have to. Right, let's do the answers. Here we go. Double or bust answers. You get ready to mark yourself for this round. Here we go. Number 1. Last planet to have its orbit inside the asteroid belt. Well, you go from the sun, it's Mercury first, then Venus, then Mars, then it's the asteroid belt. So the answer is Mars. Okay, Mars is correct. 4 points for Mars. See, Marion's saying not touching astronomy, but you know what? It's an easy thing to learn. It's just the order of the planets. Because because there's only 8 of them these days. So you might as well learn them because they come up in quizzes quite a bit. Number 2, Denver and Phoenix in the USA, MST. It stands for, M is for mountain. Let us know if you get bust on any of these. If you went for that and didn't get it right. I think I've used this in the pub before and people have got bust on that. I can't remember what it was they said, but there's the 4 zones in the main part of the USA: Pacific, Mountain, Central, and Eastern. So Denver and Phoenix in the mountain zone. All right. Sort of second last one. 2 hours behind New York. Right. Life and Times of the Thunderbolt Kid. That is Bill Bryson. Bill Bryson. Good writer. You know, very readable writer. Not exactly literature, but good to write. Oh, Tim's bust. Look, he said Midwest. Yeah, that's it. That's what people were saying. I remember from the pub asking that and people got bust. That was what they said. They said Midwest. So bad luck. Number 4. You got 2 questions left. Are you surviving? IQ test. The average on any IQ test is 100, or most of them anyway. I just picked that one because it's a fairly well-known one, but 100. So they do all these tests and they just, like, whatever the average is, whatever the average score is, they convert that to 100. They call that 100 IQ. So if it's over 100, you're smart. And if you're under 100, then, you know, you got work to do. Yeah, I like his books as well. They always feel very easy to read and quite amusing. And what year, right? This is the crucial one. If you went for the year, the Mousetrap opened up in London and Hibs were the champions of Scottish football for the last time. Got to get within 5 years. The right answer is 1952. Whoa. So if you said between 1947 and 1957, then you got the points. Outside of that, you are bust. So let me know how you got. There they are. League champions, 51 to 52. I think they won in 50 to 51 as well. I think it was 2 years in a row. And they must have thought it was going to carry on from there, but they never won again. So Mars Mountain, Bill Bryson, 100 and 1952. Anything between 1947 and 1957 gets you the points. Let me... Chameleons went bust on Mars, right? Okay, went for Neptune. Nah, bad luck. That's further out. Questions 3, 4, and 5. You got them right. You got the last ones right. But bust on Mars. Got bust on the first question. Disaster. Rob's got bust. Ms. Duff is not bust. She's got full score, 76 points. All right. Sally's here. 64. The Happy Gang. 62 for Craig. I'm going to put the link for you into the chat to upload your score. I'm going to do that right now. So please click on the link and upload your score. It's your team name and your score. I'll make a league table for tonight's scores. Thanks very much. All-time top score for Tim, 52. All right. 16 for Mary in the last round. 70 would have left the writer without your clue. Yeah. I thought it needed one more little clue. Peter got 62. That's a great score. That'll definitely be a top half. 44 for Janie's. All right. Thanks, Sally. Good stuff. That means I can sort out your breed for last week. Margaret Ann, 16 for the Lumpy Gravy. Great stuff. Okay, right. The scores look pretty varied tonight, all over the place. I'll leave that for now. We're going to play games for names in about 10 minutes. Before that, we are going to have our last visit to Pub Quiz versus Politics. We are on the eve of the election, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the scores so far, and we say hello to Mr. Lewis White. Hello, Lewis.
Oh, how you doing?
All right. I'm all right. Yeah, I can hear you well now. You're not so great stuff. So you are the... I'll take this off for a second, actually, just so I can see you. Hello, there you are. Specky guy. Must be a good guy, right? So you're standing for the Labour Party in Argyll and Bute. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
And where are you speaking to us from? Because Argyll and Bute's absolutely enormous. It's basically half of Scotland.
Yeah, I'm not actually in Argyll and Bute at the minute. I'm in Inverness.
How does that work then? What, is there no Labour candidate in the whole of Argyll and Bute?
Well, there is that. That would be me. But there was none of the local members wanted to run, and they invited me to be their candidate. So I didn't refuse.
Right. So how are you finding that then, being a candidate who doesn't live in the area? Do you get hostility when you go down Argyll and Bute and you say, "Hey, I'm Lewis," and they go, "Cool, Lewis. Where do you live?" And you say, "I live in Inverness." Do they react badly to that, or are they okay?
Some people, but most people, they're more interested in the policies and how I'm going to help the local area.
Yeah. I looked at the result from last time, from 2016, and Labour were fourth place back then, and 2,000 odd votes, and the SNP had a big thing. And who was second? Was it the Tories were second? Yeah.
The Tories, aye.
Yeah. Why does the Labour Party not do so well in rural places? Why is that? Because I mean, there's the same inequality of wealth in the country as there is in the city. So how come the Labour Party doesn't pull it in the countryside? Because we had a guy from Aberdeenshire, same story,
Yeah. No, this has been a long running problem. Is for the party. It's there's some element of some people do see it as a sort of like an urban party, and and that's where a lot of our base is, but I've always been a sort of rural based person myself, so I'm coming at the Labour perspective from a rural perspective, and that's always where I come from and talk about how our policies benefit rural areas. And it's been good to see the change in the party as well. Our official policy is rural proofing all our policies, which is great.
Rural proofing. So what happens? Do you have to does it go through a special rural committee before something becomes a policy? Is that how that works, or?
Well, yeah, and it'll go through our more rural-based MSPs Rhoda Grant Islands and others. But it's a lot of our policy is sort of rurally is determined by the membership. So it'll be our local parties that are in rural areas contributing more to policy in rural areas. All
right. So that sounds all right. Sounds like you're sort of trying to listen. So listen, coming fourth last time, betting man says you're not going to win tomorrow. Like, what's a good result for you tomorrow night?
Well, I mean, for me, the base standard is keeping our vote share. I think I'll be doing really well if I increase it, and I'm getting some good feeling on the ground. So, I'm hoping that's going to happen.
Yeah, what do you do in the meantime? I presume you've got another job at the moment, yeah?
I'm a student at the minute.
Student.
So, yeah.
Has there ever been a student who's won a seat in the Scottish Parliament? Do you know? Has that happened?
I don't think so. No, I can't think of anything.
It'd be a hell of a story, wouldn't it? I mean, what are you studying at the moment?
UHI, University of Highland Islands.
Oh no, I know. All right, okay, but what are you studying? What's the subject?
Oh, sociology and politics.
Of course it is. Yeah. Well, you should know everything if there's any politics questions come up, right? We're going to do a quiz, Lewis. Thanks for stepping up. I'm going to show you the scoreboard once again. We're doing this by averages now because I was hoping originally to get everybody on an equal amount of times. Hasn't worked out. Tories never get back to me. I mean, Labour have been great at getting back to me. SNP, Libs, they were all good at getting back to me. But it's worked out like this. You're the last person, so Labour will have more, but we're doing it by average. The average is 30 at the moment for Labour. So you need something around about 40 to overtake the Greens, which is quite a big score. The biggest score you can get is 55. I'm going to ask you questions starting at 1 point. Second one's worth 2 points. Third one's worth 3, and so on. So it goes up. If you got them all right, you would score 55 points. So that's how it works. All right. You ready?
All right. No pressure then. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, you can only get them wrong or right. That's all that can really happen. Are you much of a pub quiz person?
Not. I mean, I haven't been in a pub. I've been involved in a pub quiz really since before the pandemic. I've never really done much of them, but I mean, I've hosted a few. So,
right. Actually, one of the person from the Green Party said that the other week, and she did extremely well. So that bodes well. Here we go. Here come the questions, Liz. So for 1 point, Should be a fairly straightforward question. Which television game show began broadcasting in 2009 and features obstacles with names like Sweeper, Double Cross, and Crash Mountain? What's the name of that show?
Is it Total Wipeout?
That's right. Perfect. Yeah, that's actually a pretty difficult question for a 1.1. But you got it. You got the right answer. Right. Number 2. Inspector Lestrade, this is about books, all right? Inspector Lestrade is a policeman who appears in the novels involving which fictional detective?
Sherlock Holmes, isn't it?
That is correct, yeah. 2 points in the bag. So far, so good. 100% so far. Question number 3. Oh, look, it's you're from the Labour Party, and it's a question about Karl Marx. You'll know this one. In which country was Karl Marx when he died?
That's a good question. I think he was in England.
That is correct. Yeah, he was in London. He spent the later part of his life living in London. He's buried in Highgate Cemetery. Excellent. Right, number 4. No wrong answer so far. Number 4 is a 50-50. It gives you a little break here because it gives you a choice. What type of drink is the spirit which is branded Zubrovka? Is it schnapps or is it vodka? What is Zubrovka?
Vodka.
Vodka is correct, yeah. Just for fun. Not for any points. Do you know what country it's from?
Vodka, originally.
No, the Zubrovka brand itself.
Vodka, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't want to say Russia. I feel like that's too obvious.
It's from Poland, you know. So,
Poland,
but that wasn't for points. Don't worry about that. You've got everything right so far. Question number 5 for 5 points says about Roman numerals. What is the value of the Roman numeral L for Labour?
This is difficult.
It's more tricky. You get more tricky as it goes on, you see.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to say, well, I'm assuming L and the term legate are connected. So part of me wants to say 80, which I think I'm wrong on that one.
You try to draw it out, me. I'm saying nothing. This is I'm gonna
have to say 80. I'm just gonna have to say 80. It's the only one.
It's 50. It's 50. So bad luck there. 80 would just be LXXX. That's how they do it. It's a crazy system. It's lucky it's been replaced. Otherwise, computers would not work. Anyway, question number 6 is a geography question. What is the name of the river that flows over Niagara Falls?
Niagara Falls.
What's the name of the river that goes over Niagara Falls? Right on the border between USA and Canada. What's the name of the river?
I have no idea, so I'm just going to say the Niagara River.
That's the right answer. Yeah, that's perfect. See, folks, it's always worth having a guess. You might as well have you think you don't know it, but you might as well have a guess. That was a really good answer. Number 7 is your other 50-50 one, Lewis. This is going really well. Now, I don't think you mind me asking, how old are you? You look quite young.
Yeah, I'm 23.
Right, okay. You're not going to know this, but you might guess it. So you heard of Live Aid, yeah? In the 80s, the concert back in 1985. It was supposed to be 2 legs. The first leg was in London, and the second leg was in the United States. But in which city? Was it Boston or Philadelphia?
I'm going to say Philadelphia.
That's the right answer. Yeah. Hey, did you know that, or was that a guess?
It was just, I mean, Live Aid was about the AIDS crisis, I think, and it was pretty bad in Philadelphia, wasn't it?
Well, it was about starvation in Africa, so kind of not. Kind of nothing to do with that. But you pulled out that this happens sometimes in quiz as well. Terrible logic, brilliant answer, right? So, right, number 8, another geography question. In which country is there a spectacular game reserve called the Kruger National Park? It covers 7,500 square miles. So which country has the Kruger National Park? Starts with a K. K-R-U-G-E-R, Kruger.
Sounds German, so I'm going to guess... Oh, is it Austrian? Actually, I'm going to stick with German.
It's I can see what you're thinking, but it's entirely in a different place. 7,500 miles is quite a lot of space, and it's down in South Africa. All right.
Oh yeah, of course it would be South Africa.
Yeah. So bad luck there, right? Number 9 and number 10 are both difficult, but they're gettable, and it's for high points. So number 9, which modern art painter was dubbed Jack the Dripper by Time magazine in 1956? So American modern artist, and he was given the title Jack the Dripper by Time magazine. Can you think who that artist is?
I'm going to say Jackson Pollock.
Yay! Very, very good. Excellent. You know what his paintings look like, yeah? You know the stuff?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, it's like someone's been sick, but like more artistically, you know. Okay, this is going really well. You've only got 2 questions wrong so far. You're heading for a big score. I don't know, because I've got to type the score into the thing afterwards, but I get the feeling that if you get this last one right, then you might just take Labour top. Let's see what happens. So it's another city. Which city is named after the wife of George III and is the home to the Carolina Panthers American football team? So the Carolina Panthers American football team played our games here, and it's a city that's named after the wife of the British King, George III. What is the name of that city?
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
This is a difficult one. This is an American city.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's the Carolina Panthers is the name of the football team. So, you've been pretty good at trying sort of half working them out so far. So have a think about the Carolinas. Yeah. There's a North and a South Carolina. Can you think of a city in either of those that's got a girl's name?
I don't know either of those states really that well.
Okay.
Too much writing on this one. We'll go with. I don't know. What's a royal girl's name? We'll go with. We'll go with. I don't know. Elizabeth.
Gonna push it for one. Elizabeth. That's a really good guess, but it's not correct. It's Charlotte. Charlotte is the right answer for that one. Charlotte is in North Carolina. So you missed the 10 point, you missed the 8 point, you missed the 5 points. So you missed 23. So 55 minus 23 leaves 32. It's a very, very, very good score. I don't think it's going to be enough to put Labour top, but it might just put you in second place. Let's have a quick look at this. Get the political candidates little spreadsheet up. You scored 32, and I'll put that into the hooply doop. And okay, that can't be right. Hang on a sec. All right, it's because I've got number. And what about this little gap, Lewis? But you will see the result of this very, very shortly. Okay, right. I've got that here. I've got to press a few buttons. I've got to get rid of that, and I've got to get rid of that, Paul. Stop screen, and I've got to try and get the other thing up, and let's see what the final results is. This is pub quiz versus politics for the last time, because it is the election tomorrow. And there it is, folks. You've done enough to get Labour into third place. You get an average of 30 points scored in the end. SNP are on 32, and Greens are top. Greens are the smartest party in terms of pub quizzes, but you did extremely well. A score of 32 is at the better end of the score, so well done. How did you think you got on there?
Well, that wasn't too bad. I wish I'd thought Charlottesville at the end there. Absolutely gutted. I can't believe
it's actually a different place. Charlottesville is actually a different place. I'm kind of glad you didn't say that, because then I would have had to mark you wrong, and I would have looked like a hard ass, you know what I mean? But I would have had to mark you wrong. Right, people are saying well done. Chameleons are saying well done. Lewis, well done on the Zubrovka vodka question. Or they're talking about Dominic there. Hang on a second. Dominic's saying that I'm wrong. He's saying that the Zubrovka comes from Latvia rather than Poland. I stand corrected. If you're right, Dominic, I'll have to check it. But Jonathan's saying if you get elected, that's one way to pay off the student loan.
Yep.
Are you on the list as well, or are you just in the constituency?
Yeah, I'm on the list. Aye.
What position are you on the list for Highlands and Islands?
Yeah.
But then you've put the legwork in, and next time you'll be a bit higher up. Yeah, that's the game.
Hopefully, it depends how things work out over the next 5 years. We'll see.
Maybe the Tories will get in, and maybe they'll abolish the Parliament, and then all the dreams will die. That could happen as well. What do you actually think is going to happen tomorrow, like in terms of the overall result?
I have no idea. I mean, the polls are all over the place. I have no idea. I think it's going to be an interesting. Well, I mean, we're not going to find out tomorrow, are we? It's going to be Fridays when the constituency.
No, apparently, yeah, it's kind of boring. I mean, they should do it at night time. It's loads better when they do it at night time.
Yeah, Saturday. So it's a 2-day count minimum. So we're not going to know until, and some of them are going to go up in 3 days. So.
How does it take 2 days to count like 1,000 votes? You know what I mean? I could do it.
Well, there's like what 200,000 people in the Highlands and Islands, spread out over a large area. So
it's a lot of excuses. They should have that. They should have that done and dusted by midnight. That's what I reckon. Anyway, listen, thanks for coming and doing the quiz. You did really, really well. 32 is an excellent score. You have not let your party down at all. It's just that the Greens had 3 really good people on, so and that's the way it worked out. But thank you very much for doing the quiz, and good luck with tomorrow, Lewis.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers now.
Thank you. See you later. Well, there you go. Lewis White of the Labour Party takes Labour up to a final position of 3rd place. They got the most points, but they've been on 4 times, so doing it by averages, and they finish on 30 average. SNP on 32. Greens are the champions of pub quiz versus politics. All right. Well, look, I'm getting backed up. Zubrovka's Polish. It's Polish, right? Okay. It's 23 minutes past 8. That means we've got time for games for names. Get a few more people on the wheel before we spin the wheel at 1:30. What do you want to play, folks? What game do you want to play? That's great. Peter, that's the best comment. You get a little folk to count the votes. You have your vote counted before you're even out the booth. Why don't they mix up the Scottish election with Eurovision? Each party's candidate has to put up a song and we vote online. Well, even despite doing all this politics stuff and being sort of more interested than I usually am, I'm still not quite sure who I'm going to vote for tomorrow. I don't really know. Look, Denise was first to respond. She wants Hangman. Oh, look, yeah, actually, weirdly enough, I don't have Hangman ready for once. Where am I? Okay, I've got Where Am I ready. I've got Now You See It. We'll play Now You See It in a minute, but I've definitely got Hangman. Where Am I ready? So let's go straight into a game of Where Am I? And the question. Where am I? So we need name of town or city. Okay. Let's just stretch this a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Now, where are we? Not much going on, wherever we are. A couple of cars parked here. This is the High Street. Brecon, St Andrews, Stirling, Kinross, Torquay. What's that? Helen Carmichael. Okay, I don't know if that's a shop that sells Helen Carmichaels or whether it's run by her. Looks kind of bleak. Torquay, Pennycook, Melrose, Huntly, Ayr, Brecon, Galashiels, Elgin, Dunbar. Let's go down the street a bit. Ayr, Huntly, Melrose, Galashiels, Elgin, Dunbar, Stonehaven, Moffat. Nah, it's a bit tighter than Moffat. A bit smaller than Moffat, I think. What's going on here? Looks like a drug deal. Monifieth, Oban, Aberdeen, Larbert, Brora, Cooper, Alloa, Bangor, Bewley, Stratford, Bewley. What's that? There's something. The cat shop. Oh, man. That looks like an epic charity shop. Is that a charity shop? The cat shop. Those 3 are outside all day, every day. Right, so back to your guesses. Peebles, Buff, Pittenweem, Echo Feckin. Not Echo Feckin, but you're sort of more on the right track. Alvis, Peebles, Pittenweem, Ardnamurchan, Bigger. Yes. Louisa's got it. It's Auchtermuchty. This is Auchtermuchty. This is Auchtermuchty. That's the name of the 24-hour rolling news channel that covers the town. It's called This Is Auchtermuchty. Bringing all the latest from the cat shop. Well, there's 4 of them. They must know. Everybody in Auchtermuchty must know that those 4 are on the Google Street View for Auchtermuchty. This is Auchtermuchty. As well, looks like they've got a war memorial. Got some houses. There's the pub. Forest Hills Hotel. How about that? Right. Louisa is on the wheel for that one. Okay, so let me put you on the wheel. Where are we? We're here. Well done. Janet's saying, isn't that where the Proclaimers are from? I actually don't know. Definitely a place that's associated with him. So maybe that's where they came from. Denise saying, how could I get that? Well, it was discussed, like we were having a discussion last week about place names that are extremely pleasing to pronounce out loud. And Auchtermuchty was mentioned quite a lot in that. So, yeah, I mean, you're from Ireland and you're not going to know this little town in Fife. But you might have picked it up on the conversation. Well done, Louisa. You're on the wheel for that one. Let's do another one. It's 28 minutes past. I better shut up and hurry up, get some more games on. Let's try this one. Where are we now? Let's get the Scottish map out. Well, it's too late. We're out of Scotland now. Where are we now? Let's have a look around. This is a nice building over there, isn't it? Quite a lot of tourists. Nice building. Oh, thanks for explaining that, because I never actually knew. Born in Leith, school years in Auchtermuchty, back to Leith as teenagers. That's the Proclaimer story. This is the story. Right, Prague, Krakow, Burgos. That's not bad, you know. Not right, but not bad. Salamanca, that's good, but not right. Munich, Wroclaw, Moscow, Paris, St. Petersburg, Gdansk, Budapest, Łódź, Vienna, Bucharest. Nah. All right, fella. It's another nice building. A lovely, massive big square, isn't it? Oh, what's this? Toledo? No. Valladolid? No. Valencia? No. These are all good guesses, but not quite right. A nice big church in it. Is this where everyone's going? Might be. Might be where everyone's headed. I'm not sure. Zaragoza, no. Alicante, San Sebastian. Madrid, Bilbao, Cadiz, no. You're all cottoning on that it is Spain, but a lot of people here, you know, a lot of people end up here, and they don't necessarily fly or take the train or the bus. You know? Not too many. There we go. Chris has got it. It's Santiago de Compostela. It's the end of the Camino, the pilgrim's path. Yeah. So people walk there, basically. You can start at loads of different places, but you can end up walking hundreds of miles and ending up in Santiago de Compostela, which is in the northwest of Spain. Chris is on the wheel. Very good. And it looks like a nice place. I don't know. I've never been there. I've been to the north of Spain, but I've never been, never quite been here. Oh, there we go. Right, let's get one more, because I've got 3 of these set up, as I always do. Let's do one more. So what we got? We got this one. My only challenge is remembering where this is. No, I do remember where this is. Well done, Chris. It's a good spot. the end of the Camino is Santiago de Compostela, but now we're somewhere completely different. Chaps going around the corner there, quite a lot of bikes. There's bit of a digging up going on. This isn't actually Street View. This is a sort of just a photograph that you can navigate around. So I can't really go up and down the streets here, but we can have, there's people with stalls right out in the street. Looks pretty easy going. Yaoundé, Mombasa, Accra. You're on the right continent. Douala. You Havana laugh. It's no Havana. Libreville, Banjul, Calcutta, Monrovia. Hell. Doesn't it look like hell? Looks all right. Looks like good weather. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. Quite a modern building over there. Maybe a pound land. I don't know. Mind you, a pound is probably quite a lot down here. Conakry, Calcutta, Accra, Brazzaville, Gambiano, Lagos, Addis Ababa, Goa. I refer you to the Okhtırmukti situation. Okhtırmukti's got a bearing on this. Oh, look, Louise has got it. It's Ouagadougou. Another one on the list of places that are incredibly satisfying to say out loud. It is Ouagadougou. Yeah. Obviously, I should be able to tell you where that is. Where is it again? This Upper Volta. Or Burkina Faso, is it called now? Yeah, it's the capital of Burkina Faso, which is a country in sort of southwest Sahara, so northwest Africa. Wow, fantastic. Nicely pulled out. You remembered that was one of the ones that was much mentioned on the satisfying to say out loud chat. So well done, Louisa. And that's what Ouagadougou looks like. If you ever end up in Ouagadougou, that's what you can expect. Okay. Ouagadougou, Woogadaga. Ouagadougou. Push pineapple, shake the tree. Ouagadougou. Oh, yeah. It's after past. I better get on with it, Spinny. Bit heavy on the gaga. It is Ouagadougou. Don't matter. Knew what you meant. That's the main thing. Right, let's get a wheel on because I was going to do another games for names, but I ran on a bit. I quite liked Lewis, Labour Party guy. He was all right. A student. Imagine that. You're a student. You get elected to Parliament. That'd be awesome, man. Okay, let's get a wheel of names on. £68,000 a year for them MSPs. It's not bad. I might try and get into it myself. But I basically hate all the parties, so I don't know who I'd join. Mind you. Okay. Let's not start for last 5 minutes. Let's get spinning. Let's do the prizes. So, first prize. I've learned my lesson here. The first prize we do on a Wednesday is the top prize. The other way around to the other nights, because if it's not an Edinburgh person, then it's a little bit more difficult. You might not get the breed. So the breed is the number one prize, but we're going to spin for the breed first. Let's do it. Let's see who's going to get the breed.
Chris M.
Well, it ain't going to be Chris because Chris is in Wandsworth in London. And that is out with the range of James the Baker's van, right? So I'm going to give you a scratch card, Chris, which is right here. £100,000 scratch card for Chris M. You're a winner, but you're not in our wonderful city of Edinburgh, so you cannot have the breed. Sorry, man. So we take Chris off the wheel because you're allowed to win. You're allowed to be on the wheel as much as you like, but you can only win once. Right, okay, we spin again. For the bread, here it comes from James the Baker, Herbie, the greatest breed in your life. Oh, Opa, Tim Jock, yes.
John Mackey.
Yay, Mr. Mackey, Jock Mackey, the one and only, is a breed winner. Now, Jock won the bread 2 weeks ago. I don't know if he's got it yet, so that's 2 loads. Absolutely phantasmagorical. It's time for the End Zone, book by Don DeLillo, put up by Karen. And it's a book. So, who's going to win the book? Let's find out.
Karen Duff.
Well, Karen can't win her own book. That's not going to work out. So we'll switch the prizes up again. Karen, are you still here? And have you had Bawjaws yet? If you want a packet of Bawjaws yet, because you can have the Bawjaws if you want. You can choose Bawjaws or scratch card. It's up to you. So Karen, scratch card or Bawjaws. Bawjaws is, of course, my own product. It's foul-mouthed fridge poetry, Scottish style. So let's spin again for End Zone. Let's for the book. It's Tim.
Tim Edgley.
Yay, Tim Edgley. Tim wins the book. Fantastic, good stuff and happiness. And it does look like quite a good book. Mr. Mackey said earlier on it's a good book. So I'd be looking forward to get that if I was going to get that. So well done, Tim. We have we still have a copy. Oh, I've got any line about. Oh no, I do. Copy of Good Food for Bad Days by Jack Monroe. I've got at least one of these left, so I'm going to spin for this. Hey, Tim's happy with the win. Good stuff. Right, okay, we take Tim off the wheel. We spin for the book, which is Jack Monroe. Louisa. There's 3 Louisas there. There's Gary.
Gary McInnes.
Oh, Gary, nice work. You're a winner. We take Gary off the wheel. How did Louisa not win? Look, there's an entire quarter of the wheel, which is Louisa Jobson, and there's one there. It takes a special kind of skill to be on the wheel that much, Louisa, and still not win anything. Bad luck. Have I got anything else kicking about? I don't think I do, to be honest. So I'm going to get all prized up. I'm going to have loads of prizes on Friday. Right, bad luck to everybody who made it to the wheel but didn't win a prize. But our winners are Chris M. Got a £100,000 scratch card. Mr. Mackey got the breed. Nice. Mr. Edgley got the End Zone, the book by Don DeLillo, which does look good. Gary McInnes won the Jack Monroe food book. And Karen won either a scratch card or a packet of Bawjaws. If she's won Bawjaws before, I'll send her a scratch card, or I'll ask her. Looks like she's not here right now, so I'll ask her on the messages because I have her messages. Thanks very much for doing the quiz. Well done to Lewis from the Labour Party, who put up a good fight there. You know what? I think if he'd got that last question right about Charlotte, North Carolina. It was unusual that the last one wasn't a year question. Maybe I should have made sure it was a year question so he could at least have a guess. But I think Labour might have just gone top. But anyway, the whole point of Pub Quiz versus Politics was to help you choose who to vote for in the event that you didn't know who to vote for. And you could base it on how good they were at pub quizzes, you know, as a sort of alternative to thinking too hard about their policies. So it turns out if you do want to vote on that basis, it's the Greens. But to be fair, the sample size was quite small. So I don't know if Pub Quiz versus Politics has taught us anything at all. But it is at an end because the election's tomorrow. So I'll start doing some live stuff that involves you lot again, starting from Friday. Instead of all these politicians. It's been nice to have them all on, nice to meet different people doing different things. I quite liked the only Tory that came on. I really liked that guy, Darren. He was on right at the start. Now, I'm no Tory, you know what I mean? But this guy, he was a nice guy, and he did really well. But I seem to remember he had quite bad luck. So I thought at that point, all right, it'd be good to sort of speak to some more Tories, because in my mind, they're all demons, you know? But he was like a normal guy. I liked the Labour guy from Angus South who worked in Asda and stuff like that. Yeah, another young guy, bit like Lewis. Not a student though, not an academic type of guy at all. But he was a good guy. Told us as much as the TV debates did, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was interesting as well, was last Wednesday, it was Bonnie Prince Bob, who's a independent candidate in central Edinburgh. Now, I was saying this earlier on, I don't know if I'm particularly convinced by Bob himself, but I did agree with his notion that there should be more independent people standing for Parliament. I don't know if parties are particularly helpful. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what I really think. I think I mean, this is not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's too random for the powers that be. But wouldn't it be good just to try it for like 10 years and have a parliament that was chosen in the same way that you choose a jury? So basically, by random, you get a letter, and you say, "By the way, you're the MP for Edinburgh North and Leith for the next 2 years, right? Whether you like it or not." It's like that'd be good. Because then it might actually be representative. Because it doesn't feel very representative. You know, the politician people don't really, they never speak like normal people, you know what I mean? I think in the old days they used to speak like normal people, and nowadays they don't really talk like normal people. Or they all talk like a certain type of normal person. You know what I mean? I mean, they're all normal in their own way. But it's not very diverse in terms of where people come from. Talking about class, you know. Spoiled ballot paper. I did that once. I once spoiled a ballot paper and it didn't feel very satisfying, to be totally honest. So I probably will vote for somebody tomorrow, but sometimes, yeah, I don't feel particularly enthusiastic about any one party. Couldn't be much worse, to be fair. I mean, the thing about choosing a jury, like, you don't get elected to be on a jury, and that system seems to be a sort of widely supported system. No one ever says, "Oh, the jury system's wrong." You know, it's like you get a spread, you get your peers. Maybe there should be parties in a legislature and stuff like that, but like maybe instead of a House of Lords, like a second house, it could be people chosen more or less at random. And that way you could have actual people who don't have much making decisions. Because the Labour Party is supposed to do that, right? The Labour Party is supposed to represent people who don't have anything. But the trouble is, and it's very hard to get around it, as soon as they're elected, they get £68,000 a year. So they're not like you and me anymore. It might be like you, and not like me. Yeah, I mean, it's not without precedent. There might have been something like that in Athens as well, old Athens. I can't think. It's not entirely out of the question, is it? I mean, we have juries. You know, juries are a part of our system, our legal system, rather than a political system, but it's still part of the mainstream system of how the country is run, is a principle of choosing people at random. You imagine you got elected to be on a jury, or there was a jury and people were elected to be on that, it would be constantly criticised for being corrupt, just like our politics have. But at the same time, everybody seems to accept that that's the way to do it. But I like the idea of there being more independence in the Parliament. I don't think there has there been any. Margaret MacDonald was an independent, wasn't she? But did she get elected as an independent, or did she leave the SNP whilst an MSP? I can't remember. Has there been any? Has there been any independence in the Scottish Parliament? Like people not associated to a party? James is saying that's because you used to have working class people come through, but now they're university educated and are hand fed from birth to grave. Yeah, I mean, well, this is why I was kind of impressed, James. I don't know if you saw the guy from Labour Party for Angus South. He didn't seem that type at all. He wasn't a university guy. He'd worked in a bar and he'd worked in Asda, and he now worked in an optician. And, you know, it was about as far as you can get from being, you know, a city slicker. But at the same time, he's not going to get elected because he's Labour Party in Angus South, which is the countryside. So, as we were saying with Lewis, countryside don't elect Labour Party. I don't know if UKIP are standing in Edinburgh North and Leith, but I don't think I would vote for them anyway. See, a few years ago, I voted yes in the Scottish referendum 2014. Now I'm not so sure, you know. Genuinely not. I'm genuinely going the other way. I mean, the narrative is that you're supposed to go from no to yes, but I might be going the other way. I'm really not sure. I don't know how I would vote if there was a Scottish referendum tomorrow. Because you see the hoo-ha that Brexit's caused, and it's like, well, what, do we want to do that again? Break away from another lot? I mean, we might do. Maybe Scotland would be better on its own. I don't know. I'm not saying I would vote against it. I might vote for it. I remain to be convinced, put it that way. Anyway, that's politics. I used to be quite into politics when I was like a teenager and that. But then there were other things to do. More fun things. I haven't really cared about it for about 20 years. Not deeply. Not in a way that I'm actually going to have a fight with anybody, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's like James says, it's a career now. It's a career choice. And I've noticed that with, like, the guy from Angus South sticks in my head because he's the exception. Most of them they already work for a think tank or they work for an MP already, and then they stand. Quite a lot of the Greens were like that. They already work for Green MSPs or the Green Party. They work in the bureaucrats. You know, they are bureaucrats. It is much more unusual to have someone who's got a job, like a normal job, and then go into politics. Oh, I see, right, UKIP. You're answering the question, has there been an independent? You're thinking about the Westminster Parliament. Oh, there's definitely been independence in the Westminster Parliament. There was the Michael Burke. There was the woman who stood to try and save her local hospital. I think she was in the Midlands somewhere. There's been various independents down south, but I don't know if there's ever been an MSP. James says, if you vote yes, you will never be allowed to quiz again in a pub and drink will be outlawed. Yeah, there is a risk. They do seem to be rather, you know, not very keen on pubs. Kind of puts you off, you know. Puts me off anyway. Hell, you can see both sides. That's my trouble. The older I get, the more sides I can see of things. So, you know, it used to be simple when you're a kid. You're like, aye, that's wrong. That's right. Easy, you know. Safe for the quiz, Louisa. Thanks for doing the quiz tonight. Right, I'm going to hang up now. I've got stuff to do to get ready for Friday. And I need to talk to the newsroom tomorrow because I might be back in the pubs. I'm kind of excited by that. I also need to put these last 3 politicians into editing and get them uploaded. Anyway, thanks for doing the quiz. Thanks for chatting. See you on Friday. Great prizes. Party box number 7 will be on the go. Before you go, just make sure you have uploaded your score. That's what I like to say. Make sure you get a team name and your score up there so I can make a nice table. Right, Margaret MacDonald was independent from 2003 to 2014, so that's longer than a parliament. So she must have been elected as an independent at some point. Maybe she was elected the first time as SNP. But I mean, that's good going if you manage to win a seat as an independent. It's quite powerful stuff. Where was she the MSP for? That's the thing as well about this list. It's 4 parties. You can't be independent on the list because, you know, I don't think you can anyway. Or it doesn't really work for independents, put it that way. It works 4 parties. It's a party system. I'm just looking at Margaret MacDonald. MacDonald, MAC. Okay, so she was for Govan. No, Member of Parliament for Govan in the 70s. Member of Scottish Parliament for Lothian. One of 7 regional MPs. All right, so did she... Let's see. So 1999, elected to the Parliament representing Lothian. And then in 2003, all right, it's because the SNP put her on the list at position number 5, so she had no chance, so she stood as an independent. And she was officially expelled from the SNP 2003, and then was re-elected. But on the list, right, okay, that's interesting. I think I assumed that was impossible for an independent to get elected on the list, but it looks like that's what she did. Interesting. And of course, she passed away now. Yeah, that's right, yeah. One of the proclaimers was her son-in-law, is that what you said? And she became a good hippie. Yeah, I was chatting with my mum the other day, and she was talking about Margaret MacDonald, saying she had loads of respect for her. I kind of didn't really know much about her, to be honest. I mean, I've always known who she was, but didn't really know much about her. But yeah, that's exactly what my mum was saying. She had a lot of time for her, a lot of respect. Yeah, more independence. It'd be good if half the parliament was like non-party, you know what I mean? It was just people, because then they'd have to think and talk about things instead of just being tribes. We say yes, you say no, we say high, you say low. That's it, it's just tribes, just banging heads off each other. You know, if it was just all people, they'd have to sort of talk about things and try and work things out, how to actually make things better. Maybe that's a pipe dream. Okay, so that was the score upload thing. I put it up there. All right, get your score uploaded, folks. And if anybody thought tonight's quiz was worth a tip, then I'd be delighted to get any tips. So if you thank very much to James the Baker for putting up prizes again for over a year now. If you're in the West End, you go to Herbie's, pay the man back, go and buy some products out of his delicious shop. And if you're up in Moordun, visit the bakery. Get it fresh and hot. Fantastic. Thanks for doing the quiz, folks. Good night. I'm out here.